A former pro-transgender activist said she regretted her previous work in pro-transgender activism, adding she felt she was indoctrinated on gender ideology. In an interview with Fox News Digital, I started to realize that what I had been doing at my job at the LGBT center, it was grooming. Kay Yang, a former employee of a location in New York, said, "Grooming in this context means to get into readiness for a specific objective." Yang is now an outspoken critic of gender ideology being taught to young children in K-12 education. Recently, Yang was attacked while protesting at a pride event in Nike for espousing views against the topic. The incident was recorded on video. "I was just kicked, hit, pushed, mobbed by dozens of people in Washington Square Park. Males who identify as females called me BH, assaulted me," she said. The reformed activist said that she felt her good intentions to fight for human rights and equality for gay PLES were exploited for the objective of flooding a mass marketing campaign for gender ideology among children. "I was hired to conduct LGBT community outreach and education," she said about her 2011 position. "I thought, wow, I want to help people who are being marginalized, who are being oppressed. I don't think that anyone should be discriminated against." Back then, Yang described how knowledge of transgenderism was scarce, even among activists at the LGBT center where she worked, and that she rarely encountered young people identifying as such. "I had no idea that what I was doing at the time, I was being used as a Trojan horse for this, like, huge marketing campaign for gender ideology," she said. "I didn't know what was going on that was normalizing these policies and these practices that are pushing irreversible medical damage on healthy children." Since her years in high school, Yang said she was a dedicated activist for marriage equality. In 2015, a Supreme Court ruling established same-sex marriage throughout the United States and its territories. In retrospect, Yang feels her passion for achieving equality was exploited with what she believes is an additional regressive agenda eroding women's sex-based rights. "I feel like I was exploited, and I feel like I was taken advantage of. I feel like my good intentions, my youthfulness, the position that I had in my home community, all of that was utilized to push gender ideology on my local community," she said. "I came to realize what we were doing years after the fact. I looked back and thought, oh my God, what have I done? What have I contributed to? I actually felt devastated. It was very difficult to process and deal with. I had to really face myself and what I had done," she added. Yang said she was considered an expert on the topic and believed in its concepts through working there. "I became indoctrinated," she said about worked at the LGBT center. "We would go into schools or businesses, organizations and the community. They would see us as experts," she said, "but really, I didn't know exactly what I was teaching. I was doing what I was told because it was my job," she continued. "I actually felt devastated. It was very difficult to process and deal with. I had to really face myself and what I had done. I do feel like it's very important that I've had these experiences and seen all of this from the inside out, because now I can tell the truth about what I witnessed." Yang says she is fighting to prevent young girls from becoming indoctrinated, as she was really concerned that our children are being told complete untruths about themselves and their bodies and the world around them, and that's setting them up for danger, and it's setting them up to internalize feelings of shame against their own body just for being a male or being a female, she said. "And I really think that all people, but especially children, should be taught to love and respect their body and grow to accept the body that they were born in, and whether that's a male or a female," Yang added. "And I'm very concerned that this ideology is grooming young girls to believe that they don't need sex-based rights anymore, and grooming them to promote this ideology, because that's what happened to me.